Hello, I'm Richard Winters, and I've got a 7-year-old warm blood mare here, a beautiful mare, but she's here for some remedial training. It seems that she's having a tough time thinking down to her feet. As the owner described it, sometimes she just won't want to go forward, and then she'll rear up and whirl and run off the other way, and she feels like the mare just checks out. She can't even get her to think. I'm going to look where I want to go. I don't want to hang on her face. I want to ride her forward, and then right there, I feel that hesitancy, her getting a little bit stuck. And there she's going to head off. Kind of had to watch the flower bed. I'm going to use left rein, left leg, and drive her forward. And ask again. And see, she can't even think about where she's going. But she's got to go back the way she came. I'm not going to do any 360s, no full circles. She's got to move that hind end over, put my left leg way back, and disengage those hindquarters. And then get soft. And say, babe, there's only one open door for you. There's that resistance again. There, move those hindquarters out of the way. Nip that in the bud. She goes forward, let things work out for her. Show her she can make it. Block that. There, I was able to take care of it a little bit sooner that time. And now ride her forward. Left rein, left leg. My right rein is completely neutral. Now drive her forward, a little spanking. I need forward impulsion. I need forward momentum. Everything I do is one rein at a time. When she steps forward, her life gets so much more comfortable. Now we'll just let her head up the top of this hill, thinking down to her feet, looking where she needs to go. When I get up to the top, I'll make a U-turn and come on back down. I think this mare spent a lot of her life just traveling around on flat ground in some pretty benign areas. She gets up on the side of this hill, she's going to have to look where she's going. If she gets in a hurry, I might bend her right and bend her left and just tip that momentum sideways to break up the forward momentum. I can bend her over here to the right. I can bend her back to the left. I bend her to the right, I put a little bit of right leg on her. I bend her to the left, I put a little left leg on her. Bend her to the right, little right leg. Bend her to the left, little left leg. Look where you want to go. Think down to your feet. That worked out all right for her. Let's just make a little U-turn around this fire hydrant and see if I get any resistance this time, or if she can walk forward. There, got some willingness, feels pretty good. Every time we can work through those areas and things work out positively for her and myself, she's gonna be that much better next time. I'm not gonna hide from those areas. I'm not gonna try to avoid them. I need to get in the middle of them and work them out. But the reason that didn't get even uglier than it did is because I've been spending some time in the arena getting those hindquarters softened up. So let's go back down to the arena and I'll show you some things that I'm doing to get her prepared for situations like this. So we're doing some things here in the arena to get her prepared so that we can deal with those situations. One of the first things I need to be able to do to get a horse to think down to their feet is I've got to have control over these hindquarters. I need to be able to bend this horse's face and put some inside leg on here and rock those hindquarters out of the way. And if they don't come with the suggestion of my leg, I'm going to reach back here and tap them with my hand. If there's no response there, I'll spank them with a rein or the end of a crop or a whip. They've got to move those hindquarters out of the way. I've got to be able to disengage them. When this mare gets bad and she starts running off with her owner, she has her hind end engaged to do that. I need to readily be able to disengage those hindquarters. If I can step those hindquarters out of the way, if I can get her to think down to her feet and cross her right hind foot over her left hind foot, then I've got a horse that I can control. But I've got to have that lateral movement. Another thing that I'm going to try not to do while I ride this mare this month is I'm going to try to not pull back on both reins. And I think there's been a lot of that going on with this horse. I'm going to ride her forward and on a loose rein and give her nothing to pull against. All the direction that I give her is going to be one rein at a time. She's a great big mare, 17 hands one, or 17 one hands, and sometimes it's difficult for them to make the transition from what they feel in their face to what we're doing down at their feet. Little serpentine circles like this can be very beneficial. I'm using my right rein and my right leg as I make some figure eights around these poles. She might think, hey, I'm a great big mare, I need 40 acres to turn around. No, not if you get organized. If you think about where your feet are at, you can do this. Left rein, left leg. As I come through the middle, right rein, right leg. Bend your body, arc your body. Then, in an effort to get her to think down to her feet, although she's not going to be a Western reining horse by any means, I might come in here and just ask her to roll back on the fence. And so she's got to think about where her feet are at. And I'll drive her forward, and you notice everything is one rein at a time. Push her forward. We put bits in their mouths and halters on their heads, but I need the mental connection to take place down at her feet. Drive her forward. And then bend her to a walk, getting her supple and pliable. These are the things that I'm going to keep in mind. Managing my reins, one rein at a time, not pulling on her or hanging on her by any means. Getting control of those hindquarters, rocking this right hind over this left hind, and then back the other way. Disengaging that hind end. This is what's going to give me the kind of control that I need. Getting my horse to think down to her feet. Whether she's a 14 two-hand quarter horse or a 17 one-hand Dutch warm blood, makes no difference. They've got to make that connection, and these are the kind of things that are going to make it happen. I'm Richard Winters. Thanks for watching.